All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to another, and quite possibly the last of the beta first Descendant videos that I'm going to be making. So, I played a fair bit of the first Descendant over the last week. I kind of hit a bit of a wall at the end of all of it, mainly just because around level 30-ish, just unlocking new characters set you back to level 1. Didn't really have a ton more time to play it, but did get enough resources to unlock a few different characters. So we had Lepic, we have Ajax, which as you can see, Ajax I played the most. Tried playing Sharon for a bit. She was alright, not quite what I wanted her to be. Bunny I didn't really get the hang of. Wanted If I did play again, I probably would choose Viessa, but Ajax is pretty cool. Ajax is probably one of my favorite characters, and now I got Poison Girl here, which is, pretty fun. Let's go over here and do this mission. So yeah, the beta is basically wrapping up pretty quickly, and as you can see, I mean, things have been kind of improved, but it's still a little bit awkward in terms of screen protect or stuttering and whatnot.
No dispatch team has ever managed to get in, so we don't know what we're letting ourselves in for. But we have to retrieve the Heart of Iron, no matter what.
But you know what? In terms of looter shooters, it's pretty cool. Still, I think this is kind of like a little bit of a final impression sort of thing. Would I play this again? Would I actually go out of my way to play this? And the answer is, I don't know, maybe. Like, if they actually fix some of the graphical issues, which it is way better than what it was for me at launch. I have no health because I'm level 1. I mean, I think that this game, for the most part, satisfied what I would want from a game like this. The only thing was that they're invisible. I did really, by the level 30, hit kind of a brick wall, which definitely hurt my enjoyment of it. It was just all of a sudden like, boom! Oh, look, enemies have gotten way more difficult. It felt a little more difficult getting progress, and yeah, because of that, it did hurt my enjoyment. The whole would I recommend it is kind of a sort of like, it's like, it's got some cool features to it. The raid bosses are pretty cool. I think that just having the double EXP thing has made a big difference. If there wasn't that kind of like faster leveling, this would have been more difficult to enjoy. And I've kind of been interested in looter shooters for a while, but just haven't really had the time to get into it. And now, having played this, it's like, well, probably still wouldn't have time to really do too much in one. Also, gameplay does get really, really feeling samey by the point I was at. The Iron Curtain. No, different. So yeah, it's kind of like yeah, I do recommend this game, depending on what state it comes out in. I haven't tried any of her abilities.
Oh no. It looks like the Vulgus is jamming for radio. Hey, let's finish the mission.
Got him.
Vulgus are pumping up black mana from underground using stone statues. Let's stop that first. Changing magazines.
Like really I mean, it's just go to location, shoot something. And the core mechanics are fine. It's just by the end of it, you're like, oh, well, I've definitely shot stuff. I can't fault the game for that. Characters feel different, have different roles, kind of thing. The definite, like, just to say again, the best thing is probably the raid-like mechanics. Oh, sure, spawn me right in there. That's cool. And give me no actual invincibility frames. That's awesome. Alright, enjoy that. Thank you.
Changing magazines.
Also, there's still this weird kind of control issue where it's like locking on to where the enemy used to be. Like you can see, like even right there, you just zoom it back. My controller wants me to focus on something where an enemy used to be. Not strong weapon, not having weapons that isn't the problem. It's just how unfair some of these enemies can feel, more than anything. And like I said, at one point it ended up getting really, really bad for me. Like around level 30, it feels like the game probably wants you to do a whole bunch of upgrading. And in a beta where you know that your data is not going to carry over to the main game, it's a little sucky to not have that. Poison. What else do I have? Let's go. Interesting little glitch there. Repeated dialogue, quips. I mean, it's definitely far from a perfect game. But you know what? It's mostly enjoyable. Am I supposed to be destroying this? No, I'm maybe supposed to be just touching it.
Success. Stop the statues. I hope this will cause them some damage.
I don't know if this game is going to be free to play when it comes out, or if it's going to have just be a game you pay for. I haven't done the research on that because it doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's free to play, I mean, you can pick it up and try it for yourself. If it is paid, I mean, I wouldn't probably get it if it was like a full 60. Because I'm not convinced about what other things might be monetized, or maybe just how slow the grind would be. Like I said, like I felt that the grind for me was already pretty... I mean, it was okay, because again, we had double EXP during the beta, but... Short of that,
The sanctuary. I can sense the heart of iron. Be careful. The one
it's
guarding the
nice that
portal.
this game has more of a focus also on story. Because, you know, it has some cutscenes that play out and look good. I just wish that they could get the graphics looking a little bit smoother. Ow. I heard this, like, I just got this character and I've heard her say the shield is down. Like, I have notifications on screen. That's what this effect is supposed to be. My shield is down. Areas feel different. I mean, honestly, it's been a fine experience. I think that there's enough here to be interesting. I'm just not completely sold on it because it feels a little bit awkward, a little bit clunky sometimes in a lot of different aspects. And like you get very, very used to the things. Like it's like, oh yeah, destroy this, and of course it's gonna like become invincible at 50%, so that you have to end up fighting another wave of enemies. And it's like, yeah, the core mechanic is shooting, and I get that, but it could use a little variety. The shield is down. The shield is down. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the shield
What happened to the heart of iron?
is down. Yeah, there's some interesting things to this game. I look forward to seeing what it looks like when it's fully released. I mean, it has my attention. And the core mechanics are there. The grappling hook is interesting. The character design interesting. It's kind of neat that there's also like upgraded versions of characters. Your shield is down. But it could have had some, like, maybe slightly more clever ways to get around the obvious things that would happen when you make a game like this. Like, repetitive. Repetitive dialogue and whatnot, but here's hoping that, you know, closer to release, its issues will get ironed out. One more? His shield is down. We'll play a drinking game next time of like every time she says my shield is down. Thankfully there won't be a next time, so you guys don't have to worry, but
Enemy has appeared. Get
shield is down. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior? The shield is down. I know, I have no health. Bye-bye. For it? Try poisoning. Ooh, ooh, oh. Yeah, this is why I thought this character would be kind of cool to play. Just because the whole poison thing, since enemies are fairly bullet sponges, it's like, oh yeah, well, a character who just deals uh, damage per second, probably pretty good here.
Is this the forest of life from the legend?
I just want to check something on my recording side. Probably could turn the audio up just a bit.
Still, we don't know what they'll come up with next, so we can't afford to lose track of them under any circumstance.
A tank filled with black mana.
And not to be the complainy guy, but one of the other things I will say about the thing that doesn't work is this as a looter shooter. I think that it could use just a overall better disassembling system, just a little bit faster, a little more fluid, so you're not spending so much time in there.
The supply chest.
It also kind of became a little difficult to figure out, you know, which weapons I was getting were new and worth keeping, and which ones weren't. Dead. The shield is down. You may start your landing when ready.
It looks like you're gonna have to do your thing again.
But you can see, even just doing like a handful of missions here, having to go back and do this to re-level up and whatnot.
Guard, the shield is down. Hold me back every time.
I mean, if you've seen one mission where you're basically going to an area, trying to secure it and whatnot, I mean, the majority, the main part of what feels like this is just very repetitive going up against enemies. I do like they've kind of varied it by having different factions, even if enemies fall into the same categories, like a sniper or whatnot. The design is at least different from area to area, so that makes it feel a little bit more fresh. Not terribly, but a little bit. The shield is down. It's a good time for a level up.
I will finish every one of you.
Create a little poison zone. I created on the rocks, so feels super good. Good choice running right in here.
Changing magazines.
But yeah, having a good weapon can just get you out of a lot of more bad situations than being strategic. Since it is kind of just a numbers game. More enemies?
According to the Heart of Iron was taken to the destroyed sanctuary.
The next mission.
It's dangerous to head towards
Yeah, we'll do one more and kind of call it quits, because I think
make sure
I think I've said all my thoughts about this game. Like, you've seen the gameplay. I mean, the shooting feels tight. The core mechanic here is good. I wish it was a little more varied. Obviously, raids is one of the big things
There were many trees like this before the apocalypse.
that
It's hard to find one this big nowadays.
they're trying to keeping the game feel very varied. You know what? Let's just play a different map.
This road leads to the Tree of Life. It's the only survived the attack of the Colossus. Everyone thought the tree was dead, but after 100 years, it's now starting to sprout leaves again.
There's a sniper out there.
Changing magazine.
Got him. I mean, at the end of a long day, when you come home and you just want to shoot stuff, it feels like this game will definitely get there for you. I just don't feel like for me it's going to be doing that much. Tuk, 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 tuk.
They just keep coming for you, don't they? It's like you're famous.
Changing magazine.
Just like get a new level up and immediately it's like the shield is down. I'll just lose all my health, shall I?
Caught off guard. Down.
They coming from?
Holds me back every time.
I need. Like those grenades can just completely wipe you out. Do, 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 do.
Holds me back every time.
Zip, zip. I want more zip line. I wish zip line didn't have such a cooldown on it. Turn them all into cheddar cheese.
There's a Volga's control device nearby. Destroy it, and the surrounding...
Yeah, it just hasn't felt like the game's really involved much more. If the grind was worse than it was, I'd feel even less compelled to play this, because it's just like... time sinks, man. I have enough of them already.
Changing magazine.
I don't need any more time sync. I'd rather spend my... Shield is down.
Good. You cleared up the area. Proceed with tracking down the Heart of Iron.
Proceed with finding the banana pants. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the time in the beta. And I hope that the game does end up being even better than it was when my time was with it. Because you know what? If this was decently priced and it gets a good amount of like post support and whatnot from the devs, and the grind isn't too bad, I could see myself playing this game a fair bit more. But until that point, the grind is something that I'm not overly about. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Take care and see you next time.